Hi everyone, I thought we'd come together for another flower pour, I know, right? But I wanted to try it with this mold to see if we could get something cool. I painted the edge with the chameleon powder grape from Let's Resin. I also did about an ounce in a cup of that. I also did an ounce of Let's Resin Ocean White. I did about 2 ounces of Enoki, and I did about 35 drops in there. And then I divided the rest of the 7 ounces in these 3 cups. I am using Let's Resin tabletop resin. It is a higher viscosity and it does tend to cure a little bit faster. So I'm hoping we're able to get something cool out of it. I am concerned because the higher viscosity, and I'm using partially a Larimar technique for this flower, but we'll see how it works out. So the first thing that I do for the Larimar, oh, I guess maybe I'll show you my colors. First cup, Octopus Fluids Resin Ink Shadow. It's like a gray purple. And I put 10 drops in there. Then I did Liquitex Acrylic Ink Turquoise, and I just did 3 drops in here. And then finally the Prism Violet, and I did 3 drops of this also. As you can tell, I'm going for a bluish purplish sort of theme. All right, so now our Enoki mixture. I'm just going to dump this in the bottom. Now it may or may not fill the bottom of the mold, and that's okay because I'm putting so many other things in this cup that in this mold that I'm not too worried about it. Now I'm going to do my shadow, and I'm just going to pour that directly into the mold. Shh. Leo decided to stay downstairs, so he's going to bark at everything. All right, now my turquoise. And I'm just pouring these directly into the mold. Now I'm going to take my mica powder mixture. Since it's so little in there and it's thick, I'm going to move it to one side of the cup. And I'm going to put this where my 2 colors sort of come together. I'm going to use the whole 1 ounce for it. All right. Now I'm going to use my Prism Violet or purple. It's a little bit heavier a color. You can see it sort of go below the turquoise. And now I'm going to do a little dotting. Just a little because we only have a little white in this cup. But I wanted to do dotting because I have a little bit more control. I'm not going to go crazy dotting. I gotta move it along pretty fast so my white doesn't go all the way in. Because I am trying to combine the fairy flower and the Larimar here. All right, a little snip. All right, so I'm going to start where that turquoise is. And I'm making bigger drops than I normally do. Because I don't want to be here all day doing drops. And I think the effect is just as nice with the bigger drops. But we do got to move fast because we don't want the white coming in completely before we get these in. And you can see the white is coming in, the Enoki. Now I'm going to try to get us down to like a circle. So you see I'm changing shape a little. Let's see. Getting a little bit smaller now to fit. I'm going to go ahead and put a drop in the center because I'm not sure how it's all going to pull in. Now, with this little bit I have left to sort of bring in the design everywhere, we're going to go back out, but not all the way out. And we're not going to be able to see very well, right? So you just have to do your best at this part. And we want to make one more run around. Hopefully we won't run out of white. It looks like it's going to be perfect. Or we might have a little left over. That's okay. All right. Now I'm going to give it a shot of heat. Since this is a thicker resin, I do tend to get more bubbles. I am not going to do a center because a lot of times I just mess it up by doing a center. I'm not a huge fan of centers on Larimars. So I'm just going to let this go. It's going to be a combo effect, but I still think it can be pretty cool with no center. So let's just go with that. And we'll be back when it's time to unmold this. I'll hit it occasionally with some heat just to pop any bubbles that I see because thicker resins, more bubbles. But then we'll come back and see what it looks like. All right, we're back to check this out. It's still soft, but it is coming away from the mold, so that means it's okay to take out. Though I probably could wait a little bit longer, but no, you know how I am. Have to take it out as soon as I can. Oh, wow! That is super pretty. That is really, really pretty. It came out great.